story from a Corsicana educator who was injured by an out-of-control student. Kendra Rogers showed us her eye injury when she was hit by a wooden hanger.
He threw a wooden hanger at me, but I couldn't stop it fast enough. The hanger hit me in my right eye and knocked it out of the socket. I grabbed the blood was pouring out of my head and stumbled out of the classroom door.
Rogers care flighted to Parkland, emergency surgery to try and save her eye.
Doctors were able to reinsert my eye. However, they determined that I've been blinded, and they currently believe that my damage is permanent.
She says it's time for the state to reevaluate the education code and how marginalized students are disciplined.
Overly aggressive students need services to meet their needs, but I do not believe the safety of other students and the educational staff should suffer.
Now, that student has since been detained and charges are pending with the district attorney's office. Karen?
All right, Lacey, thank you very much. We appreciate that live update.
All right, some of y'all ready to unsubscribe from my channel? Because some of y'all about to unsubscribe from my channel right now. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I'm a Gen Xer. So some of y'all are finna go ahead and unsubscribe from the channel. Now, first of all, I don't know what kind of hangers they got in there. That looked like a stool or something. That was bigger than a hanger, so there was no way you was going to avoid that without suffering some type of injury. And many people in the comments of that video were talking about how the school needs to be sued, the parents need to be sued, the parents not disciplining the kids, discipline. Of course, we had the conversation, the liberals. Look, all that conversation about the liberals, let's start there. Taking away discipline from the school and discipline from the parents, that started when I was in about 8th, 9th grade, where we went through Republicans as president, we went through Democrats as president. We went through Republican Congress, Democrat Congress, Republican Senate, Democratic Senate. It ain't got nothing to do with Democrats or liberals or conservatives. What it has to do with is the punk parenting agenda that this country has undergone. And this is where the parenting comes in place. Now, if you're a Gen Xer, you remember when teachers and principals used to be able to snatch you up by your ear. My 3rd grade teacher, I used to sweep him down. She was gonna rip this damn ear off. And I can see her face right now. I can't remember her name, but I can see her face. But when teachers had the authority to be able to discipline the children, when the principals had the authority to be able to discipline the children, when parents used to discipline their children. And see, what had happened was, I remember there was this book written by Dr. Spock that all these so-called parents were saying was this great thing: no corporal punishment for your child. Don't utilize corporal punishment for your children. Talk to your children. Put them in timeout. Take away this, take away that, little items like that, but no corporal punishment. No, nothing too harsh. You don't want to damage their level of confidence and all this other bullshit that this man, Dr. Spock, had put out and that had caught fire. And I think it was in the 80s when that bullshit caught fire. Let me tell you something. When I was in high school, not one student would dare to raise their hands and throw stuff at teachers, to do the same to principals, to do the same thing to elders in your community. Not one person would dare to do that. You know why? Because they knew that the punishment they will receive at home was much more severe, and didn't want to take the chance of receiving it for them acting like an ass out here. All this school shootings and stuff, and I know some people, there were people in the comments talking about, oh, it's just black kids, look at the black kids. Who does school shootings? It ain't black kids. But it doesn't matter. I'm saying this to say that it's effed up on both sides, on all sides. When I was coming up, there was no, When I was coming up, there was no such thing as school shootings. That was unheard of. No kid walked around and did something as dumb as that. No kid felt emboldened enough to do that. But all of a sudden, we start getting this in the Gen Z millennials, school shootings. we start getting these kids who think that they can just throw stuff at teachers and act out. You know why? Because there's no repercussions. What are the repercussions? Granted, this kid is going to go to jail, hopefully, but there's no repercussions. If you raise kids without repercussions that are severe enough to cause them to fear the repercussions, then the kid is going to go out and do whatever the hell they want to do, whatever society is allowing them to do. When these kids start saying, oh, I can call DFAS on you, I can call the police on you, call them. I remember when my daughter Sydney, she wanted to mouth off to her mom. I made her go outside in her she was probably about 8, 9, 10, somewhere around in there. Going out there in your little halter top and your little panties outside in the cold, stand on the back porch. You want to talk trash like that? Go on outside. Get on out there. We're going to see. We're going to see. I let her stay out there. Oh, she cold. I don't care. I don't care if she cold. She ain't going to die. She'll be all right. I let her stay out there for about an hour and a half. Cold as hell. She was all right. She didn't die. She didn't lose any fingers. She was all right. But you know what she never did again? She never mouthed off like that again, did she? Nope. Because she learned. Did my children receive spanking? They sure did. There's a difference between spanking and beating. They sure did. But my kids are respectful. My kids also know how to stand up for themselves, but my kids are respectful. So this mentality that happened where kids thought they had this authority over the parents because they can utilize the government to be able to call and scare the parent, parents became punks. And then these parents start thinking, oh, I'm going to be my child's friend. I tell my children, even to this day, they are in their 30s and their mid-20s. I am never your friend. I am your father. There are elements of our relationship as you have grown up to be adults that appear to be friend-like. And I respect the fact that you are now an adult. But don't ever get it twisted into thinking that I'm your friend. I am your father with some friendly tendencies. That's as close as it gets. And me and my children have a wonderful, loving, respectful relationship. But they know there are still lines that they do not cross. And they know better. Even when I mouth off to my mom and tell her things like I just said in the previous video, that, oh, you don't want to eat right? Okay, then good, just die early. I still don't say it in a way that is disrespectful to her. And if she started raising up, I'm going to sit my little happiness down. She's 77 years old. She can't do nothing to me. But it's that respect that she earned, that she gets. These kids don't give respect because they haven't been forced to respect people, to respect authority. And I know I've lost some people, but I find I'll probably get some new subscribers because of it. Yes, this is a Christian deconstruction channel, but that part, spare the rod, spoil the child, oh, I agree with that one. 100%. Now, I don't believe in stoning kids for being disobedient like the Old Testament says, but I sure as hell will not spare the rod, and I sure as hell was I have sent my kids out into the weather plenty of time, or had them doing squats or push-ups with that belt hanging over my shoulder, saying you either gonna do these squats or push-ups or you're gonna get some of this here belt. Take your pick. But one way or another, you're gonna get some punishment for whatever it was that you did. I will give credit to my middle child, Simone. That one right there, she saw what that big one did, what Sydney did, her older sister, they ain't gonna do that. So she ain't get that much punishment. But the mother two, I've had to get off work early sometimes for them jokers. But anyway, that right there just pissed me off. That pisses me off because that makes no sense. And if we keep moving in this direction, this society is going to crumble because the family will crumble. There will be no discipline. These jokers will not understand how to get shit done and how to handle situations. You know, we used to fight and then we friends, you know, a few weeks later, we friends again. These jokers think, let me kill you, let me shoot you, because they ain't afraid of their parents. They ain't afraid of the school system. They ain't afraid of nobody, because it hasn't been instilled in them that they go from fear, and then that fear translates into respect later on. You see, it's not continuously in fear. It's fear. Then as they become of age of understanding, then it becomes respect, and it becomes good behavior, and they understand why they had to go through that process. But them psychologists from back in the day and lied to y'all, tricked y'all, and this is the bullshit society that we got now. So always remember, you got to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.